Well, good morning. It's not raining. Yay! We said if we got a tent, it wouldn't rain. So at least it can protect us from the sunshine itself. Well, on behalf of Five Rivers MetroParks and our commissioners and our partners today, we are so excited that you made it out here this morning for us to make our announcement that we are going to be partnering with our two local rowing groups, which is the Greater Dayton Rowing Association. Raise your hand, all you and the Dayton Boat Club. Where are you? Raise your hands. And we are happy to announce that we have entered into an agreement with the United States Olympic Committee and USRowing to designate the newly formed Dayton Regional Rowing as a Community Olympic Development Program. Yes! Just a little history about this process. In the late 1990s, the United States Olympic Committee created the Community Olympic Development Program to help address the need of progressing athletes from the beginning stages of development to the elite level. It has partnered with sport communities across the nation to help American youth receive the best sports development services possible. Beginning in 2012, Five Rivers MetroParks led the effort to establish a Community Olympic Development Program for rowing in the Dayton region that would enhance opportunities for youth to connect with nature through Dayton's rivers and grow the sport of rowing. This leadership included collaborating, as I mentioned earlier, with our two regional clubs to seek approval from USRowing and the United States Olympic Committee to receive this prestigious designation. Five Rivers MetroParks is proud to continue this leadership, and we will be serving as the local administrator for the Dayton Regional Rowing, working very close with our partners in the local area, as well as hopefully extending opportunities to work with other community organizations to support this effort. This is an example, I believe, as when you work together as a community, great things can happen. Also, just so you know, Dayton Regional Rowing is also the only U.S. Olympic Committee and USRowing sanctioned Community Olympic Development Program designated for rowing. And I can't thank Glenn Mary, who you will hear from shortly, enough for his patience in working with us over the last 3 years to make this happen. And it has been a process, and we're very, very excited. You can tell I am. The mission of Dayton Regional Rowing is to provide lifelong personal development and active lifestyles for Miami Valley youth through the sport of rowing, as well as to enhance high-quality intermediate programs for youth to maximize their potential in the Olympic sport of rowing. Dayton Regional Rowing also elevates the sport in rowing in the region and across the country. It offers Five Rivers MetroParks and its rowing partners the additional opportunities to serve the community by connecting people to nature, our rivers, and also promoting healthy lifestyles. And don't forget, it complements the Dayton region status as the outdoor adventure capital of the Midwest, right? You don't just say it, we mean it, right? The goals really for Dayton Regional Rowing in the initial goals are to includes increasing participation and improving performance in rowing, hosting coach and referee trainings, and creating a pathway of athlete development for the Olympic feeder program. In addition, Dayton Regional Rowing also enhances the work of the Ohio Great Corridor Association, aimed at taking advantage of our river-related opportunities such as this one, to bring vitality to Ohio Great Corridor and make it a destination for local and national river visitors, but also adds value to the regional economy. So if you don't know what that is, Ohio's Great Corridor is a collaborative effort up and down the river to get people on the river and get them out in nature and get them healthy, and rowing is a great way to do that. So, we are so excited to be designated as the nation's first Community Olympic Development Program for rowing. This collaborative effort to grow the sport of rowing is a perfect fit with our efforts to encourage people to have a healthy, active lifestyle, as well as our mission in meeting to provide the outdoor experiences and inspire a personal connection with nature. Now, I am so thrilled and happy that he made it to Ohio in this wonderful heat and humidity, and I know he's been traveling around the country. I'm honored to introduce Glenn Mary, CEO of US Rowing, who made a special visit to the Dayton area for today's announcements. Glenn?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say how excited I am to be here today to make the announcement for this Community Olympic Development Program. I have a bit of history with Dayton, dating back about 20 years. My history with rowing dates back only 25, so that's pretty good, I would say. One of the things that we really enjoy about southwestern Ohio is the energy and enthusiasm behind the sport of rowing. This week, we capped off about 2,000 athletes participating in Club Nationals down at Harsha Lake in Claremont County, just outside of Cincinnati. This week, we also announced a new para-designation down on the Great Miami Rowing Club, just down the 45 minutes down the road. I was down there this morning looking at the development of the boathouse there. And it's nice to cap off those announcements with what we're doing here. Over the past couple of years, we've been working with the Parks Department to bring the local rowing clubs together to form this great energy between everyone that will benefit youth in the area. When we look at our Olympic partnerships, US Rowing takes these very seriously. Our other major projects in Chula Vista, in Oklahoma City, in Princeton, New Jersey, they result in medals. They result in the Olympics. Our Olympic team finishing in the top of the world. It results in our athletes being supported. It results in programs and growth of rowing nationwide. And that's at the very top level. And we've been very focused on that for the last 20 years. This is a little bit different. This is from the bottom up. This is a grassroots effort. And when you talk about development, you talk about youth, this is the future of the sport. As I look around and I met some of the athletes here and down in Hamilton earlier this morning, these are the athletes that will be in Tokyo. These are the athletes that hopefully will be in Boston in 2024. This is what the future of Olympic partnerships look like. It's where we bring together the top coaches into the community to drive new ideas, to help foster and develop referees, coaches, better athletes, better trained athletes, and really utilizing the fantastic resources that you have here. You may not realize it, but this nexus of these rivers coming together provides just a fantastic opportunity for people to be out on the water all the time. Your Parks Department and the leadership that they're giving to the community and bringing these areas back to public access and really pushing it out to the youth means that you're combating things like obesity, diabetes, the health and welfare of your future generations to come. These are really important launch points for sport in America. Really important launch points for a growing and better society. So I stand here today really excited and proud to be partnered with this group after spending the last few years working on this project to make sure all the pieces are in place, to make sure that the local rowing clubs came together under one organization, to make sure that the Parks Department and the city are in partnership with what these rowing clubs are doing. I see great things ahead. You'll see more US rowing presence out here in the coming years as we move referee colleges out here, as we move coaching colleges out here to better not just this area, but rowing throughout the Midwest. And we really appreciate the leadership that's been demonstrated in your community. I kind of go off script. I'll frequently say I just need to check my notes to make sure that it meets up with what I was supposed to say. I think I've pretty much covered everything. US Rowing, as the national governing body, represents about 1,300 rowing clubs nationwide. We also represent the Olympic team. We just had a team finish up in Toronto at the Pan American Games. I have another team that just landed in Plovdiv, Bulgaria for the U23 championships. And in about 10 days, the junior national team will depart for Rio down in Brazil for the test event for the Olympics. So we have quite a bit going on during the summertime, not the least of which was this enormous Club Nationals that took place just down the road for you guys. So with all that on our plate, again, happy to be out here, happy to see so many people in support of the local rowing and the Parks Department. And I'd like to turn it over to Brian Danmiller. He's the president of the Dayton Boat Club, for his remarks, and say thank you for having me here today.
Good morning. First of all, I want to say Thank you to Becky and Five Rivers MetroParks for all their efforts to have this collaboration happen today. Also, I want to thank GDRA as well for their partnership as well. I truly think that this is a 1 + 1 = 3. I think the rowing visibility in the community is going to be greater expanded based upon what's happening here today and going forward. But as part of the Dayton Boat Club, we're very excited about this collaboration between Dayton Regional Rowing, US Rowing, and the US Olympic Committee. The Dayton Boat Club was founded in 2004 by Mike and Trish Miles, who are here this morning. Raise your hands so everybody can see who you are. Very good. And it's the home to competitive juniors and a master's rowing program. The Dayton Boat Club competes in regattas in Ohio, Michigan, and Tennessee, and throughout the Midwest, and regularly has entries in the U.S. Juniors National Rowing Championships. During the past 10 years, its teams have placed in the top 10 nationally 9 times. Many of our junior young ladies and men have been recruited to well-known colleges across the country to continue their rowing careers. We have had a number of Dayton Boat Club members go through the U.S. Rowing National Team System. One of our graduates we're especially proud of. Recently at the Pan Am Games in Toronto, our own Molly Bruggeman of Dayton is a 2015 gold medal winner, along with her fellow teammate Emily Heelskamp in the women's coxless pair at the Games. Molly rowed with Dayton Boat Club before she went to Notre Dame for school on a rowing scholarship. Mike Miles of the Dayton Boat Club was her coach, and her dad, Mike Bruggeman, is here today, and I think that deserves a great round of applause. Now with the formation of the Dayton Regional Rowing, I expect we will see more athletes like Molly come out of this region and even competing in the Olympic Games before too long. With that, I welcome Denise Hoyser, Assistant Coach for the Youth Program and Board of Trustees member for the Greater Dayton Rowing Association.
Well, it is really exciting to be here today at Island MetroParks for this announcement, which also happens to be home for the Greater Dayton Rowing Association and its boathouse across the street. GDRA has provided access to the Dayton region for rowing since 1992. Located here alongside the Great Miami River, we've provided both sculling and sweep programs to the Miami Valley region for both adults and youth alike. We also host the annual Charlie Doyle Memorial Regatta, which is the first Saturday in October. And if you haven't been to a rowing event, this is a great way to be introduced to rowing. We've got a beautiful venue here at Island MetroParks and a great place to watch the finish line right from where we are and up on the red walking bridge. It's a great day of exciting rowing. The recognition by the U.S. Olympic Committee and the formation of the Dayton Regional Rowing Association represents a huge achievement for the city of Dayton and for the sport of rowing. For the past 13 years, Greater Dayton Rowing Association has qualified boats to row at the U.S. Nationals. And this past season, our women's quad finished 5th in the nation down at Sarasota. And just this past weekend, our under-17 quad took the bronze medal at the Club Nationals that Glenn was mentioning. This recognition and the quality of our programs and facility has been extremely rewarding. And we look to continue working with the community and the youth of the Dayton area in both introducing the sport of rowing and in identifying future national and competitive athletes. I'd also like to take this time to thank Glenn Murray and US Rowing for bringing together the 2 rowing teams in Dayton and forming Dayton Regional Rowing. And also, I'd like to thank Becky Benet, who had the vision to see that this program would be a great fit for the city of Dayton, and also for the persistence and perseverance in seeing it through. Thank you.
Well, one last thank you I want to make is to our staff and commissioners. We have 2 of our commissioners here today, Eric Beezer and Karen Davis, and again, they were supportive through these past 3 years with their patience and trying to understand what we were trying to do. Our staff, your support in working with me and making this actually a reality. and to the community, most of all the community, for being supportive of the sport of rowing. Getting people outside is so critical, as Glenn mentioned. We need to be active, we need to get our kids out there, we need to understand the importance of nature, and this is another opportunity through the developing rowing and getting people on the river to not only grow the sport of rowing, but to get us outside and be an active, vibrant community. So thank you again, and I'm supposed to remind you there are cookies to my left that have actual Olympic rings on them approved by the U.S. Olympic Committee. So please go get a cookie, and thank you again for coming out. We so appreciate it. Thanks again.